This is the MFS Wellness Podcast. I am Mike Sinopoli. And with it being Thanksgiving next week, we're obviously approaching the end of the year. Many of you may be looking towards a New Year's resolution, which is totally fine. I've given my thoughts on what that is and how it can be negative, but it can also, be a time to restart. Some people have had New Year's resolutions that have stuck. So let's figure that out. That's the number one thing I think is to find what's going to stick. If you're going to do a 180 and change your entire life around overnight, it's going to fail most likely. That's what we're conditioned to do. We like to take these next 6 weeks, just not move a lot, eat a lot, let the holidays be our excuse, let the new year be our placeholder out there to make us feel good about what we're doing in the meantime. I get it, and you're going to indulge a little bit more this time of year. I'm going to do it. That's okay. There's no shame in it. Again, I may look like an asshole to some of you, but I am a very empathetic man, and I promise that. What I want to do is help people escape the matrix, basically the system that we're in, whether it's by design or unintentional, and just how we ended up how we are. We're very much immobile. I mean, we're sedentary. We sit a lot in front of screens, and we have all this automation and AI now. We don't have to think as much. We don't have to do as much. We can have DoorDash come to our house, drop things off. Instacart does our grocery shopping. We're not moving a lot. So it's kind of every time that they develop something that's a new convenience, I don't shun it. I think it's great. I think that we need to evolve and can consistently come up with new innovative things that make life more convenient, and that's okay. But what happens when we do that is we have to go ahead and now more responsibility falls upon ourselves to move, to eat right, to figure it out for ourselves. And there's not one answer for this. It's an individualized basis. So if you can kind of like if you're going to the new year, maybe you're like out there diet shopping, looking at what's out there. What haven't you tried yet? You've done keto, you've done the South Beach diet, you've done all that other carnivore, veganism. You've tried it all, right? You've done it. Well, it's essentially there's not a diet out there, I don't think, that's going to fit you. You don't go and find a ready-made diet and apply it to yourself. I think you have to go inside of yourself and create something. That's what I do for clients. And that's what my 2026 goal here is. It's going to kind of be, I should rename it to like Escape the Matrix or some crazy shit, but I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist because there's some people out there with that mindset. Because that does sound a bit conspiracy, but it's true. There is a system. We are conditioned, and that's not necessarily by design. It's what it is. We lead by profit in this country. Profit is everything. So if something's going to be profitable, they're going to go ahead and do it, whether it's, whatever ingredients they want to add to food, if they want to make it more convenient, it's going to be there. And I know there's talk about ingredients being removed from food dyes, things like that. And I've said it before, great, I support it. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the be all end all for you. And anything the government itself is doing is not going to be the be all end all because look at what we're in. If you let the system take you in, you're just going to be pushed. You're going to hustle. You're going to have your nervous system on alert all the time. You're going to be in debt. You're going to be broke. You're going to be on pills, most likely, if you keep just going with what society says you should do, because it's very sedentary out there. And we have kind of made fast food the norm. And if you really think about it, if there was a time our species actually getting food was the day. Like that's what it was the day. We are blessed that we have this abundance of food, this ease that we can go places. But like I said, we have to go ahead and do things for ourselves more and more. So this, to me, figuring out a way to have a healthy body composition is number one. The ingredients, of course, yes. Let's eat whole foods. Let's eat minimal ingredients and non-processed, hyper-palatable shit that keeps you eating because that's what it's designed for. Cheetos, Oreos, Doritos, any type of pretzels, potato chips, all that stuff is Bliss Point designed by science. It's engineered for you to keep eating for profit. That's what it is. That stuff will not be. There's no satiety to it, so you keep eating it. It doesn't fill you up. So we want to avoid that kind of stuff, or at least limit it. But anyways, to sort of see where I'm going here is what I want to do in 2026 here is create something that's also going to be very cost efficient for people because our inflation right now is like no other, and there's no denying that right now. It's actually it's more of a concern than we were giving it right now. I don't like when they share things and we laugh about how expensive things are and how overtaxed we are and in the interest rates and all of that stuff. It's out of control and debt is insane. So, anyways, that's a little off topic, but what I wanted to do is create something to help people figure themselves out on a one-on-one basis. It's a virtual call. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm trying to make this not sound like an infomercial. Okay. That's what I don't want to do here because that's boring as shit. But I want to get some info out there and see who I can help. And then my goal in 2026, my New Year's resolution in 2026 is to help as many people as possible. So if you've watched this or you're watching this and you want to share it with somebody, that's awesome. I know that's the cliche YouTube thing to do, but hey, please, that'd be great. If I can help people, I've helped many in the past, and it's something that I identify with, and I love it. I lead from empathy. I lead from mistakes I've made. I made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I can tell you about those. And if you're making the same ones to help you get there faster and avoid them. So that's kind of how it would start. So this is basically, as you can see on my screen here, it's a lifestyle change session because it's not always about fat loss. It's not always about your body composition. A lot of it is. Um, and the body composition part of it is quantities of food. That's where that comes in. That's where I was going with that ingredients thing. Well, that's fine and that's great and all, and I support that. I really do. Cleaning up our food, I love it. But 80% of chronic illnesses come from obesity, and that's strictly a overconsumption of food. It's a quantity of food problem. So that's why we want to also really, and maybe first and foremost, before you even start to clean it up and worry about all these little ingredients, that are actually poisonous in dosage. So you can eat some of these chemicals in foods in small amounts, and it will never hurt you and never mess with you. So what we want to do though is address the total daily energy expenditure line for people. So get them into a calorie deficit if it's fat loss. So that means that we're eating kind of whatever, clean, getting our protein in, but some fun foods. We're going to make it specific to you. That's the goal here, so that you can stay with it. Because consistency is the biggest issue with this. Is that people do not stay consistent with it, and it's hard. It's not easy, and I struggle too, and I do. And I'm not a special. I'm not anything special of the sort. There's nothing about me. I have a inner fat kid that likes to do crazy, weird shit and eat a lot of food that I'm not even going to mention here. But believe me, I'm not. I don't like my sessions to feel like I'm talking to you from a pedestal. This is a team effort. We do the work. You get the results. That's how it goes. I praise the client. You guys have done it. That's what it is. I'm just there to help you out and tell you what I've done and I know some things and how to adjust food a bit. So that's what we do. What I'm getting at here is this. This is going to be like a one-time lifestyle change session because we want to change our habits and everything of the sort and figure it out. So the session will start. So what I'll do first is, if you're interested in this, is a phone call. It's completely free. There's no charge to call me. We talk. I'll tell you a little bit more about this in even depth and how it's going to go about and what it is. And then you decide from there if you want to do it. Okay. That's what it is. So the call is free. Tell me, ask me any questions you want. We'll talk. It's all good. So that's how it'll start. Say you want to move forward, then we'll set up a Zoom call. We'll set up a one-on-one virtual session. You'll just be looking at me like this, just like this. And I mean, you can turn the camera off if you don't like my face. I will not be offended. That's okay. If you don't like my face, you don't have to look at it. Okay, you can just put a picture of your favorite celeb up there instead, maybe. Or I can do an AI version of somebody that you like. Whatever. Anyways, I'm getting off base. I'm an idiot. So let's go with this lifestyle change session here. So the virtual session is going to include the first thing. What we'll do is we get started up. It's training and diet history review. Okay. So what I need to know first is what you've tried before. What hasn't worked. What has worked. Maybe you're 100 pounds down and you need to go 100 more. So what'd you do? Well, where'd you start from? We're going to go from that. What's your diet like? Everything like that. We're going to talk about that kind of stuff. I might even have you track. And, this is a one-time thing. I still believe that if you track your food for a week of just what you're doing, and I can view it in a MyFitnessPal or a food log, then I'll be able to pinpoint some things and help the behavioral changes. So that's kind of the first thing. We'll get a history of you, where you're at, where you've been, if you have any, medical conditions or anything of the sort that will determine what you eat and how much and everything like that too. So that's the first part. Then we'll go on to a habit analysis and a change roadmap. This is also going to include a section that's your purpose, and your purpose is going to run a little deep. I'm going to actually have you extract something from inside of you in that moment. Why are you on this call? Remember why you're on this call. Why did you call me today? Why are we doing this? Because A, I want to be there for my kids. A, I want to be mobile when I'm older. I want to stop hating myself when I look in the mirror. All of these things that I've dealt with too. So, that's going to be your purpose. We're going to figure that out. Along with that will be what habits you have that you think are keeping body fat onto you, that are hindering you from putting muscle mass on or improving your body composition all around. So we're going to figure out what those habits are, and then we're going to develop a like 4 phase kind of change plan on each one, and slowly take it out. An example would be like, oh shit, I drink 6 Mountain Dews a day, and I know, and I haven't been able to stop. I'm drinking 6 Mountain Dews. Okay, well, 6 Mountain Dews, that's probably about 900 calories worth of liquid, to be honest with you. So that's a huge amount. So what I would do, I'm not going to tell you, oh, you can't drink that shit. It's crap. It's fucking you up. It's making you eat more too, and it's shitty. Why are you doing that? I don't shame. I don't do that. I get it. So what we're going to do is say, all right, it's week one, phase one. We're going to go with four. Have 4 Mountain Dews this week. Okay. Four, not more than that. That's it. And then we'll reduce it down to two. And then eventually we're going to reduce it down to nothing. And eventually we want to switch it out. Maybe once your taste buds have desaturated from the sugar, then you will go ahead and we can maybe start having like 0 calorie sparkling water with lime flavor or something like that. Probably tastes like, if you're drinking 6 Mountain Dews, that shit stuff's going to taste like shit to you right now. But I tell you, I swear to you that the lifestyle change, and I made it myself. I used to drink Sprite all the time, and now I only drink like lime bubbly because, and I drank Sprite before, bleh, makes me want to barf. It's nasty. So that's kind of an example of what we'll do there. Figure your habits out and where you're going, your purpose. Write that down. It'll be in a document that I'll send to you so you have it in front of you all, and you can remind yourself of that. Then next up was the body composition goal. What are you looking to do here? This is pretty clear cut. Do you want to lose fat? Most people want to lose fat first, and some people want to build muscle. We got to pick a direction because it's just good to focus on one of the two, and that'll determine what's next as far as the calories and macros go. So what calories are, obviously, that's your threshold. If you're 2,000 calories, if that's your total daily energy expenditure, your maintenance level, we're gonna knock it down underneath that, maybe at about 1850 or something like that. And I don't want to go too low into a calorie deficit for you right away because I don't want to wow you with amazing fucking fat loss, because healthy fat loss is 1 to 2 pounds a week, because we want to preserve that muscle mass underneath. And also, the reason I won't do that is because I don't want you to go so low into your calorie deficit. And yes, you're going to burn some fat off pretty quick. But what happens is you'll plateau quicker, and you really don't have anywhere to go. Because if your maintenance is 2,000 calories and you go down to 1,400, and you start losing a bunch of fat, and then 2 months go by and it's like, oh, I'm not losing nothing anymore. I still have more to go. Now where are you going to go? Now you have to reverse diet up, and then you have to come back down, and you just slowly go down, and you're eating more food and losing weight. You want to enjoy yourself too. Okay. So that's the calories and where they'll be at. And then in a surplus, if you want to build muscle, you want to learn how to do that. That is about 300 to 500 calories probably to start over your maintenance. That's what we're going to do. So with that said, that's something that a lot of women fear, men maybe even too, that is adding in that like that calorie surplus, and purposely putting weight on slowly, and weight being mostly muscle mass if you do it correctly. But I will tell you, if you're a female and you're listening to this, and check with other females if you don't believe me, because I'm a dude. But like the biggest change you'll ever make, and the biggest bam, aha moment, the light bulb, is strength training, muscle building. Because what you do is you shape yourself, you build up your metabolism, and your mobility increases. It's just everything. And adding muscle mass, adding muscle tissue to your body is what's going to keep you healthier longer. There is even theories out there and studies that say that we have a under muscle issue more than an obesity issue, that we're just so under muscled. And muscle has gotten such a bad rap with vanity, that it's all about looks, it's all about toxic masculinity and all of this. It's really not. It's an expensive tissue on your body. It's the most valuable tissue on your body. It's going to burn, like I said, it's like, instead of running, okay, put it this way: building muscle, you can burn more calories at rest. That's just the way your body works. That's biology. Look it up. And what happens is like a lot of people just want to go and run and to do a bunch of cardio and manually burn calories. But what's better is once you build that muscle mass, now you've got a body that's built burning calories at rest. And that's how you want to do it. So you're not toiling and just spinning your wheels and sweating and going and exhausting yourself. It's doable. It takes time. Remember, this is all going to take time. This is a one-time session, but this is something to carry on and keep going with, and that's the goal here. So We get that, and then we portion out the macronutrients, which is protein, fat, and carbs. Protein's going to be somewhere between 1 pound per body weight or goal weight. So if you're most men, let's just say, are about 200 grams of protein, and most women, I think about 130 grams of protein a day, somewhere in that range. It's going to adjust a little bit. There are some ways that if you are trying to lean out quicker, you can up your protein a little bit, lower your carbs or fat, and you'll do a leaner bulk if you're going into muscle mass, or you'll do a leaner, quicker cut if you're trying to lose fat. But we'll talk about that on the call and what's best for you. And then fat and carbs can kind of go either way. Some people, and I noticed that when I work with them, especially like, oh, okay, you're going over your fat grams every day, so you're obviously, your oils and cheese and avocados and things like that, and nuts, all that kind of stuff is like fat driven, and fat is 9 calories per gram. And protein are 4 calories per gram. So fat is denser. So we want to find out which way you are, if you're more of a carb person or a fat, and we're going to add more of that macronutrient into your days, provided your energy is still good, because carbohydrates are needed for muscle building. So you're gonna have and energy and all of that. So you're gonna have that in there, and we're gonna portion it out the right way for you, and that'll be logged into your MyFitnessPal. And then MyFitnessPal is gonna have your calories and your macros in there, and then an individualized, easy for me to say, meal plan. I don't love meal plans. I know they're helpful, but I'm going to do one, and we're going to do one. That's the key. I don't create a meal plan for anybody. I don't create one. Just we go through it. So what we do is I will put up on the screen, I will put up your MyFitnessPal, and I will go through it with you. We'll talk about what foods you like, what meals you want in there, and we're going to do a sample meal plan. So you kind of have an idea of, okay, these are foods I like. This is what falls into the category of fat loss for me, and in these macronutrients and in these parameters, and then you're going to be good to go, and you can roll with that for a week, see how it goes. And just see how a meal plan works for you. You can do it for 3 days, 4 days, 7 days, whatever you want to do, and then switch it up. And then you can figure out how to log it in. And I'll show you that on the call too, how to use MyFitnessPal or a different type of food diary if you'd like. I'm most familiar with MyFitnessPal, so that would be in your best interest to do. So that's just kind of a guide. And we'll talk about how to eat intuitively, as they say, as well, within this as well, because sticking to a rigid meal plan so often can be a recipe for failure if you're not allowed to branch out and be out with your friends and your family and eat different foods and have that occasional indulgent meal, because that's just necessary. It's part of the process, really. I mean, you have to have that, or else that's you set yourself up for failure even. So once the meal plan's done, then we talk about training if you need it. I could nix this part and I would lower the cost, which I'll get to in a second. But if you would like a custom training plan done, programming, I am certified as a personal trainer. So I've been lifting and I've been in the gym for about at least 20, 25 years. So I kind of understand how to split things up, give different muscle groups the proper rest, focus on workouts that you like first, and then you challenge yourself later with something that may be more beneficial for your body. Like for instance, if you've avoided deadlifts and squats, we'll put something together that doesn't include those, maybe, if you're not comfortable with it. But I would highly urge that you take some time in the gym and learn how to do these movements, and even go to the gym. Like, say you have 3 days, 4 days at the gym, I could put a 3-day a week together for you, for your body composition. And then you use a fourth day, just go in there and use the lightest weight possible, focus on form, and learn how to do these movements and get comfortable with them. Half the reason people aren't doing some of these compound lifts is because they're strictly scared to hurt themselves, or they're intimidated, which is all normal shit, and they're embarrassed. They don't want to embarrass themselves. So we'll talk about all of that, how to do it, how to get it done. I'll show some videos. That's just what it's going to be. So, and again, I don't have a necessary time limit on this, but I can see this call going about 90 minutes, probably. That's what we're looking at. And once it's done, I will also be available for emails or texts, and if needed, a phone call for any clarity's sake, because I just don't like to leave people hanging. This isn't a turn and burn type thing. I'm not trying to make money off people. I know for a fact that when you're financially invested, you're gonna try harder. It's the way it is, and I need to pay bills, and this is something I want to focus on. So it's we're talking $250 per session, and if you don't need the training part, we can go down to 200. I'm flexible with payments as well. So I don't want to get too infomercial with it on this, but so this is something that I think can be helpful too, because and I checked the rate on it. That's how I came up with it. Of what I bounced it off a few other trainers and coaches and stuff like that, and then it appears to be a fair spot, and I believe so too. Strictly because too, like I was saying before, money is tight right now. It's tough. And that's another reason why I do a customized meal plan. Perhaps you only have a budget for groceries that you can't exceed. So therefore, I'm not going to put some expensive foods all up and your grocery bill's exploding and you can't afford it. That's not going to happen. We're going to have to work on affordability as well. And that's something I'm willing to do because sustainability is needed and you need to afford it to sustain it. So that's no brainer. I'm not a drill sergeant. There's no fuck, you got to do that. You got to eat this, pay this. No. I mean, to an extent, yeah, you're going to need to get 200 grams of protein in, and protein is, strictly like more money than carbs. It just is. Buy a thing of steak, a couple of steaks, it's like 12, $13. Buy a bag of potatoes, it's $5 still. So you can see the carbohydrates are going to be the cheapest things you can still buy, but we got to get that protein in there. So that's the way we'll figure it out. And we do it strategically. There's nothing you have to eat. I have meal ideas. I have, you can keep it as simple as you want. I have websites that have really good macronutrients on meals. If you like to prep stuff off of a site with the recipes and all of that, we can use it. It's all good. I tell you, it is. So, that's that. This is it. I'm a post it. That's what it's going to be. It's a one-time shot. I'm available afterwards, and 250 for the whole gamut if you'd like to do it. So, and it's important. This is important to me. This is something I love doing, and I want to do this forever. No matter what. If I can help somebody, then that's my goal. I want to help as many people as possible in 2026. It's my little virtue signal here. So just bear with me. I don't like to see people giving up on themselves and succumbing to this system of shit that we're in. And it's getting harder because people are working more too, because things are costing more. I'm hearing everyone needs second jobs. I have a job in addition to this. People are looking for second gigs, two household incomes. And now it's like, whew, it's a mess. But what you can do in between is take control of something that you can do yourself, which is this: is just get yourself healthy. The last thing you want to do is just like sit on your deathbed, realizing, holy shit, I never took care of myself. I let the system fucking dictate everything through money and my time. So you want to just value your time. And that's another thing too, the training program, how much time you've got, we'll work with it. If you've got 2 days, we'll find a 2-day program. If you got 4 days, we'll do 4. That's what it is. If you can't afford to go to a gym, fine. What do you got at home? We'll put it together. And I'll be honest with you, this is what the best we can do with what you've got. I'm not going to go and tell you got to go buy all this stuff. The one thing I will tell you that you probably need to go and buy, is not too expensive, is a digital food scale for this, because nothing will change your life more than starting to weigh and measure your food and open your eyes when you see what a serving of olive oil looks like, a serving of peanut butter, a serving of cereal, and you look at it, oh, okay, wow, that's something. And I've had clients open their eyes to this kind of thing. And it's depressing at first, but you just realize, oh, that's the fucking reality. So now I have to weigh my olive oil. And you won't weigh your food forever, but it's so important to do. So a digital food scale should cost 15 to 20 bucks tops off Amazon, Target, Walmart, wherever you're at. So I would highly recommend that. It would be one of the best investments you do. So put that in. Obviously, you just anything else is cookware, Tupperware, things like that. That's all you really need, and you can do it. And you just have to figure out how to manage your time. We can if you're on the go or whatever, you tell me what your job is like. I've worked all the different jobs. I've worked in an office. I have worked traveling around the country on a plane everywhere. I've worked outside sales in the restaurant industry. I've done a ton of different jobs in my life. So I kind of have an idea of how to maneuver through each one to make it work. And you're going to also have to, you're doing something right too, when people around you start to look at you fucking weird because you're doing something different. Do never let the weird looks dictate anything ever. Let them, if they're looking at you like you're doing some weird shit, it means you're doing some right shit because you're going against the grain, against the system. Piss off who you got to piss off because they're not going to be there next to your deathbed when you've been, eating out of politeness for people, because that's what happens when you start doing something for yourself. It pisses people off. Okay, it really does, because it's them. They're the ones not doing the work, and they get a little bit, they get a little resentful at themselves and they take it out on you, or they crack a joke, like I was told before. I grabbed a slice of pizza from an office and somebody walked in and said, "Oh, look at you eating human food." And I'm like, okay. So, because I would normally just bring in some healthier shit, which is basically a burrito bowl. I've told the story a million times. And so much stuff, but whatever. Anyway, I won't get into that. But it's okay. You have to go into this self-focused. Then don't be, and it's not selfish. If you have kids, yes, it's harder with children. You have to make meals they like too, right? If you sit down for family dinners, that's okay. You find something the family likes, you give them what they want, and then you just have to portion yours out and weigh it. And that's it. That's all it takes. So those are like some little lifestyle changes within this thing that's going to happen. So again, those will be talked about while we're, just while we're on the call. And you can, in addition to those, excuse me, to that purpose and all of that, and the struggles and everything, list your fears too. Like what's keeping you from doing it? What are you uncomfortable with? There are certain instances where I can only go so far to where, okay, this in our training when we do these certificates and all of this, you have to give some people it's hard to have that conversation that they might need to go see a behavioral therapist that specializes maybe in eating disorders or emotional or mental health issues that causes them to consume and binge eat because it's their form of comfort and distraction. So that's another thing too. So but you can start with this, and then if that's what happens, then we figure that out too. So it's a learning experience, and that's what I like to try to help people out with. So, all right. So if you got any value from this, thank you. Please send it to anybody if you'd like, or if you just want to make fun of me, that's cool too. I'm okay with it. As long as I'm making people laugh, that's all I do. Just smile, laugh, and whatever I can do to help you at my own expense too. So, I'll put it in the show notes and all of that. But if you want to reach me, the best ways are social media. It's basically Facebook and Instagram at MFS Wellness. You can email me, Mike at mfswellness.com. And that's the best way to go. My phone number will be out there and all of that. So if this resonates with you, if this is something that you believe you can sit down and you have to have a bit of a self-starter mentality. I hate that term self-starter. It's like I pull it off of a job interview or a job posting or something. So it's synergy and team players and rock stars and ugh. Anyways. But anywho, yeah, but you know what? Yeah, you're gonna have to have a little bit of um, I won't do check-ins on this like I would with a long-term client. Typically, some need it, some don't. But in a sense, you can message me. That's where I'm at. Hey, I'm down this many pounds. I want to hear about it. Tell me. I don't care. That's something that I allow feedback, any of this stuff, and I'll try to help you out as best I can. If we need to do another session, we can work on a reduced price for a session and change some things up and talk about it then. So I will work with you on any of that if you need it. I don't leave people hanging. I stand by my work, and I just want to see people happy, successful, and beating the fucking system because the system's bullshit. We're all fighting each other. It's us versus us, and that's by design. And it should be us versus them on many levels because that's the only way they lose. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, hey, I hope everybody. I should be on again with another episode before Thanksgiving, but if I'm not, please have a very good Thanksgiving and do me a favor and don't worry about your diet on Thanksgiving. Okay. Just eat what you want and worry about all the other meals around that day. Just go into Thanksgiving with a happy ass smile on your face and eat whatever the fuck's in front of you. And who cares? We really overblow this fucking holiday by a lot because I mean, you're probably eating more protein and more like home cooked food than you are throughout the rest of your year. I mean, most of us, right? If you think about it, if you're not watching, that's probably the best food and you're going to eat the most satiating and whatever. So just don't worry about it. Just go in there and do that. And then you'll feel much better too. If you've been like, this goes for, it's a short term right now, but if for instance, like other holidays, Christmas and all that, if you're watching your shit and you're on it, you're good in the gym, you're eating well, you're going to feel more like excited and deserving of that food. It's going to hit differently as that kind of stuff happens if you're feeling good about yourself leading into it. And that's what this all comes down to. This is all, this all says like body composition and health and all that, but what really comes down to is feeling good about yourself, okay? And that's what we want to do. You want to wake up every day and feel good about something. So, and taking care of yourself is something where you have the maximum amount of control. You can't control what your parents are doing, what your kids are doing. You can't control things at work, what clients are buying, what they're not, what your boss thinks of you. You can't control any of this. But with this sort of thing, this is all you, and you can control this. So this is something where you can be proud of it, show some success, and make it one of the best life work that you can do is work on yourself and so many levels. So I really believe in it. Not to sound like an influencer or some sort of motivational speaker, because that's not me. But you will thank yourself at some point, and it's a lifelong thing. So I'm rambling, and I have to go, and I have to get some things done here. So I do appreciate anyone who's listened to this. If this resonates, please, you have the contact info. Just don't be afraid. There's no stupid questions. Hit me up on it, and I hope to talk to you then. Thanks.